Hi friends, welcome back. Sorry about that. There was a small technical glitch there. My dog started barking, so I couldn't continue that video. Also, you'll see like a cut coming through in between. So yeah, welcome back. Same thing. Like I was saying before, you should see this. Yeah, welcome to Auto Repair Specialists. That makes sure that the chat part is restarted and a new session has been established. Right. So that's an important thing to remember. And another clue you will get is. You will also see these API messages 200, okay, coming through every time you chat, right? So that's another clue that it is actually talking to the tunnel to the current version of the app. Just remember, those are the key things I would say that got me, and make sure that kind of looking at the video, you should be able to backtrack and figure out where the problem is, right? Okay, so the same thing, like I think we have demoed this before, but I'll kind of go through it again just so that you can see it in the integrated experience. So we'll say hello, and then it comes back, and then now it says enter your email address. Then, if you remember, right, from our previous videos, we have a bunch of emails that we could use. So let's go back here, and let's pick up the ngrok URL. I can't copy it from Teams because it will give me like a weird additional like a HTML table, and then it'll mess up the whole system. So better to just get it from this website. So if you go there, I think I'll pick Sandra one more time. So copy her, um, and if you go back to Teams, let's go back here to Teams. Then you type her. Oh, there you go. This is what I didn't want to happen. Okay, Sandra. Let's type it in. Sandra 85 at Hotmail. These can definitely be improved. Can make it a lot better. You can maybe take all the information in a form, like a adaptive card, which is kind of what I'll try to do next. So you know, it's so too much redundant steps, which is just fun for a bot exercise, but not fun for the user. And this is her last name is Frammy, so we know that. Put that in. And is it correct? Same thing. It says yes. And then now you can see that I'm not using a part emulator. It's actually running inside the Teams interface. Right. That's the key point I want to emphasize. So this is also an adaptive card. You can see that you can actually format it exactly like you want. You can make it fancy, and you can even get a photo and put it here and all that if you want to make it even more fancier. And of course, I'm violating every principle by displaying credit card, but that's okay. The idea is, I think I want to use this directly to go to the payment system, use this information, and take a payment via the bot itself. But that is coming down the road. So yeah, I will say yes. That's good. So it's now going to pull up all the vehicles from the database. It's pulling it from the Docker instance I'm running. It's all fake data. So this person has two VIN numbers and registration numbers, and then it kind of gives you, what's the vehicle type, what is the make, etc. It's all fake, um, but it's okay, right? So it's like asking the user now to pick a vehicle it wants to diagnose, right? And this is a bot interface. I'm just going to pick it. It's going to go look up the database and then give like 2 to 4 problems that have commonly occurred with that particular model. Just again fake. So you can pick one or two here. This is totally non-human interaction. So it's going to go pick up that particular problem type. The electronic stability control is what I picked this time, and it's going to search in the database to actually get what is the minimum cost and the maximum cost. And I have set up a program to insert random data from $100 to $200. So this kind of makes sense because that's what you will see for pretty much most of these problem types. But I can expand the data set a little bit and actually increase the range, so that will give you kind of more information, right? So that's so yes, and then it's gonna tell the same thing right now. This is where I have to start integrating a little bit more. I've not done it. This could actually create a service ticket in the database, and then it could actually start off um, workflow process through a bot and get the person get it assigned to a particular salesperson or employee, and that employee can log in through Teams, and he will actually see the service ticket, and he can call the customer and do a chat and all that, right? So that is coming down the road, but I just want to show you that this bot is actually on the customer side, and it's creating a ticket to the user, right? So that's the second piece, is the same thing we demoed before. So this is a bunch of usernames and passwords. So they can they can come into this their personal teams. Like this is the customer, right? So this customer can come into teams, and then they can add this apps. So you can actually add apps, right? As right, say payments is an app, OneNote. So this could be one of our Delores Auto through the Team store, right? We have to get it approved and put it through the Team store. If you were to have that, then you can actually kind of see this inside your public domain, so you can actually add it. So consider all that done behind the scenes, because we can't demo that right now. Putting it into a team store, getting it validated, all that is a lot of work, right? So we don't want to do all that, but assume that it is going to be there here. Instead of payments, it will be the auto repair, right? So we'll pick that up. And once they pick it up, they can actually can clean up all this. They'll be actually have a username password. They will log in. So let's take Armando this time. They'll log in, and then they'll actually see this screen. So they will see all their vehicles, and then assuming that there is some problems, they can actually diagnose. This is something we discussed before, right? It's all fake, and it also gives all the service records that we have done, and anything that is paid or declined by customer will be having no payment needed. But the other ones will have a payment link. Again, this is fake. This also can integrate to a bot, or it can integrate to a web application, where it can actually ask for all the payment. It can actually use the data in our database, like the credit card number, address, and all of that, right? Whatever we have, all this information, and then actually submit it for payment, and then ask for approval, etc. Right? So that's something again we can try and play around with in the future use cases. So that's kind of, I would say, it. In this, I can show you a demo here. I click on payment, it opens up another window, and it's not doing much. This pretty much will ask for the form, and it'll pre-fill a lot of the stuff, and then you can actually ask for payment, and you can actually email the invoice back to this email. Okay, this is fake, but we'll have to set up some good accounts that we can use for emails, and then we can try it out, right? So that's one more. Um, then if you go home and then log into Armando one more time, they can the same thing we discussed before. I'm just going to summarize. If you have not seen that video, maybe this makes sense. So to click on diagnose is again fake. We're trying to think that there is an application that they can launch on the phone and then connect it to the device via Bluetooth or Wi-Fi or whatever. And then we just say start, and they're going to press the button, and it's just a fancy video to shows, this is what I'm doing. This can also be enhanced to show more graphs, and it's measuring the temperature of the exhaust, and maybe the vibrations and whatnot, right? Maybe some diagnostics, which we can, if you have good ideas, then embed the video there. But at the end of the day, let's click on this results. This also can be customized. I'm just using the same 4 images, but this also could come from like a blob storage on Azure, based on the ID, and you can actually integrate real images. Maybe we can do that for the real deal. So you can click on any of these images, and it will actually zoom out. And this is that marker.js template. So it actually works inside Teams. So you can click on any of this, and then you can highlight things, like you can just mark things, and you can point to things. Maybe that's a problem. And you can add text if you want, something like that. And then you can increase it if you want, make it bigger, and then you can check it, and then it's kind of when you're discussing with the customer, you can see it, right? This is, I think, what we want to integrate it at a later time into a chat interface. So it's actually going to act like a extension to chat. That will be really fancy if you can get it to work, right? So that is pretty much all that I have to show in this video. This is almost a recap of the old videos, but kind of shows you that it's all working inside Teams, and then it can it can integrate chat and the actual app in the same as a separate tab. And if you go to about, then it kind of shows you the summary here. You can see clearly that there's a tab and there's a bot in this application. It's used for personal use, right? And then there's privacy. This is all Microsoft stuff. We can change it to our privacy policies and whatnot based on what we can come up with. Right? These are also static links. You can click on it, it'll open up a browser window. It's not it's not in link, right? So, but again, that link doesn't look like it's working. Okay, but anyway, that's pretty much a quick overview of the product as of now. It integrates both chat as well as the real application, and I also gave some tips so that if you look at this, you will have an idea of how to get this to work on your local laptop, what things you need, and the usual common gotchas that we might face when we are actually doing it. right? So thank you for watching, and hopefully you get to do this on your local laptop, and reach out back to me if you see issues, and then we can kind of resolve it.